Brought to you by Gamevo.com. Get the cheapest game time on the market, as well as other Warcraft products. Check out the link in the description below. On one side, you have the descendants of Rykel, the massive sailor nation Kul'Tirans, and on the other, the war beast-like orcs. Both are titan creations from different planets, both are around the same size, and both are powerful. However, which one of the two would be stronger in melee combat? Kul'Tirans are humans. Their exact origin hasn't been 100% clarified, but when comparing them to their Eastern Kingdom counterparts, they really seem like an entirely different species. Sure, there are some Kul'Tirans that are just regular humans, but the majority of them are large, the males and the females. It is always tricky to get to the actual stats like very accurately because a lot of it is contradictory and the in-game is never really representative of the lore, but roughly the Kul'Tirans on average are around 8 feet tall, which is about 240 centimeters, and they weigh upwards of 400 pounds, nearly 200 kilograms, and really I'd even add maybe 50 to 100 kilograms more based on their strongman build. Seeing as the Azeroth humans are on average similar in size to us, the Kul'Tirans have the height of an extraordinarily tall basketball player with the build of an elite strongman. Seeing how a strongman can be 5 to 10 times stronger than an untrained human on Earth, we can estimate the difference in much the same way. Of course, Azerothian humans are different to us as they descend from the Rykel, which were giants, and I'd say on average they're much stronger than us, but to round it up, I'd say a Kul'Tiran is at least 2 times stronger than the Stormwind humans, although probably even more. This is all great, of course, for lifting stuff, but builds like these are never really ideal for fighting. Size and strength are a massive factor in combat, but so is endurance, speed, and agility. I see the Kul'Tirans as slow but very hard hitters, which can definitely do the job on many occasions. Also, their size helps them absorb damage, as a 500 muscular human can definitely take a punch better than a 200-pound one, especially if you're fighting an opponent which is about the same size. Overall, Kul'Tirans are very strong, tall, and I can see them being quite effective if they manage to close the distance or to land a punch. When it comes to the orcs, they seem a bit more diverse, but keep in mind Blizzard is really inconsistent with them. The height of the orcs starts at around 6 feet 6, so about 2 meters, and they go up to 8 feet in height, which is nearly 240 centimeters. They weigh anywhere from 250 to 600 pounds, so from 120 to nearly 270 kilograms. The inconsistency comes from the constant contradictions. When you look at the Warcraft movie, which I know is not completely canon, the orcs are gigantic and they're like twice the size of humans, which would make them at least 10 feet tall if not even 12 feet tall, and they all seem gigantic. They can pick up horses and throw them. Now, in the midst of Pandemic cinematic, the orc and the humans seem evenly matched. The orc is really not that much bigger, although I speculate that the human might be of Kul'Tiran origin because we don't know who he is for certain, especially as he is a sailor. Then, in the Saurfang cinematic, you can definitely see how bigger Varrock is when compared to Anduin, so the orcs seem to be all over the place. The only more consistent data that we have is from the books that say that the orcs are 2 times stronger than the humans. Now, the thing about orcs is that they descend from the giants of Draenor, most recently the ogres, and they are a warrior society. All of them train in combat from an incredibly young age, and while not all are as muscular as presented in the game, not every orc is as big as Geralt Shellscream, it isn't too far off from the lore perspective for most of them to be very physically powerful. They have one of the best builds for fighting out of all the playable races, as they are huge, but they also seem decently agile, possessing good endurance at the same time. In terms of body composition, they're similar to the Kul'Tirans, although they're definitely leaner on average, which would definitely help in combat. They have giant fists and forearms, powerful legs, and very thick necks, which is ideal for melee. In the Saurfang prison cinematic, you can see how strong they are as Varrock literally punched a stone wall, causing it to shake and creating a hole behind Anduin. If they can do that to a wall, just imagine what they could do to a face or the body. Orcs also seem more resilient and able to take damage not just from punches but from weapons as well. This is evident by the fact that orcs often carry very little armor, meaning that they must be able to absorb a lot of damage just with their bodies. So, which one of these two races is stronger in terms of melee combat, in particular a dual type fistfight? The thing is, both of them are around the same size, and if we go with the previous stats, the Kul'Tirans even seem larger on average. This honestly doesn't make too much sense for me, at least, as originally orcs were supposed to be much larger than the humans, but this could be attributed to Fel, as when they first invaded Azeroth they were all enhanced on Manrod's blood, so they must have seemed larger. Now, in terms of size, the Kul'Tirans and the orcs have similar builds and they're quite evenly matched, although I do prefer the orc build in terms of fighting prowess. Kul'Tirans are relatively a new addition, at least with their current build. I mean, we've seen them before, but they just seem like regular humans, so we haven't seen many examples of their achievements, but we have definitely seen the orcs fighting over and over again, and they are really good at it. A good example is the troll Garrosh Makora. You can see how easily they throw each other around, and both of them are incredibly large individuals and pretty much the size of a Kul'Tiran, if not bigger. You must be incredibly strong to throw around a 200 kg plus individual with relative ease. Now, the main reason why I'd say the orcs would win in a duel is just the aggression factor. Orcs really have that like beast-like berserker rage built into them, and they can not only do a lot of damage, but they can take a lot of damage and absorb the punches before going down. This in itself can play a massive role in a fistfight, especially if they're just going all out. Now, of course, I'm not saying that Kul'Tirans couldn't win against orcs, as we saw that human in the mob cinematic did just fine against a pretty large and powerful orc, although we don't really know too much about their individual backstories. Individual skill definitely plays a role, but if we take an average orc and Kul'Tiran of similar strength, size and weight, I'd say an orc would win in 3 out of 4 scenarios. Thank you for watching. Check out who would win between a Tauren and a worgen by clicking on the screen, and also check out the second channel for videos on real world history and science. See you next time.